welcome back. This is Jeff, the Berkey Guy. Our website is goberkey.com. This is the Berkey Guy show. This is our second show. We just came back from the break. I just wanted to pick up where we left off after the break. Kind of what I was thinking, too, was like, you know, whether or not you're ready to purchase a Berkey now, I hope this information is valuable to you. I have people call all the time who just have questions. And they're like, I'm going to order in a month or, you know, within 2 months. And I go, that's absolutely fine. You know, get it when you need it. And, you know, but I strongly recommended having it in your preps. Now, the question I had before the break was, what do the black Berkey elements not remove? Well, the first thing they don't remove is fluoride. The way they're made, there's no media in there attracting fluoride out. So you've got to get, I know I mentioned it in the first show, but the PF2 filters, PF as in Paul, Frank, 2, they reduce the fluoride in the water. And you want to have those with the black Berkey elements if you're looking. A lot of municipalities, obviously, most people, they do put fluoride in the water, and it's, you know, my personal opinion, it's terrible. You know, most people, I think, agree with me, but without having this becoming a fluoride show, maybe 1 week we'll talk about fluoride, the show. But, you know, one thing the black Berkeys don't remove is fluoride, so you'll need the PF2 filters. And usually we give away a free set with any system purchase on one of our specials. So we've got the fluoride filters, and those ones are for fluoride. But what other things they do not remove? Salt. I wouldn't recommend salt. It doesn't interact well with the black Berkey elements. It'll probably just clog them up, and so that, you know, they clog up with salt, and the salt builds up, or it doesn't interact well with the system with the black Berkey elements. So those kind of things. The other type of things they don't remove, a lot of people have this question: pools. What do I do with pools? And my personal view on pools is this. I had a guy call me once. He's like, I'm just putting chlorine in my pool. I know exactly what I'm putting in. I know I put it in myself. I put in the tablets. I do this. I do that. And I do not put anything else except chlorine. And I go, then the Berkey will be fine. I don't see any reason why the Berkey product wouldn't be fine for your pool. But I also discourage people from, people may drink any water source, you know, they can get their hands on and drink it. But the pool guy, depending on what he's putting in, I would consult with him what he's putting in. Usually the chemicals or the things he's putting in may or may not be removed by the Berkey. So, you know, I would check with your pool guy also. There are questions about pharmaceutical drugs. And usually with the Berkeys, there's a whole bunch of generalities about, you know, removing what the Berkeys and drugs, what do they remove in relation to drugs in the water. Now, there's two parts to drugs, usually inorganic and organic materials. And I just want to read a part of the official statement of the Berkey, of what the Berkey, main Berkey company said about pharmaceuticals. Go onto this website, and they have the information right here. I'm going to get it. And they said, in other words, you know, to be more specific about it, there's those two parts. The black Berkey elements are good at removing organic compounds. So, and most drugs they're derived from organic compounds. So that's about it. So can it remove Advil and all these other big names? You know what? I don't know. So that's another thing. But it's good at removing organic materials. And let me re-emphasize that again. With pharmaceuticals, I can't name anything, you know, directly, but it is good at removing, things from organic compounds. So that's the official drug statement on that. But getting into anything else off the top of my head, from the questions I get, I might remember something later, but that would be it. That practicality, I would just say, if there's a dead body, and I don't mean it too graphic, if there's a dead body and it's upstream. I would probably try to go away from that. You know what I mean? Get away from that or any other things, and get the cleanest water you can. But going back to, I want to thank that person in the chat room. Their name in the chat room is, I just want to give people a thanks. I think it was, it was Steelheart. Thanks, Emil, for asking that question. I do answer questions. And there's another question that came through, and I'll answer that one right now. It says, what is the average lifespan of a Berkey filter element in regular household use with tap water? Great question. Practicality, I would call it at about 2 to 3 years of usage or 6,000 gallons. Now, I'm into the third year. I've done 2 years with my black Berkey set. I'm using pure tap water. And I look to not changing out the filters for at least another year to 2 years minimum. And so you can get at least 3 to 4 years out of it, you know what I mean, on practical use. Obviously, it shrinks considerably, or you have to clean them more if you're using contaminated water. So that is the average lifespan of the black Berkey Elements. The PF2 filters, the fluoride, is 1 year or 1,000 gallons. So just kind of couple that together so that I, get those both knocked out if people have that question. But I want to get back to, with the 20 minutes we have left or so, get back to the next system. We talked about the Go Berkey kit, the smallest Berkey. Then we went on to the Travel, then the Big, then the Berkey Light, then to the Royal, the one that I own, and then now we're on to the Imperial Berkey. The Imperial Berkey is 4.5 gallons. Now, it is one of the biggest ones. It can hold up to 6 black Berkey Elements. You can get a heck of a lot of water out of the system with 6 in there. Now, I've never put 6 in an Imperial. I've never used an Imperial with 2. I use the Royal, so with the flow rate just on Imperial is about 4 to 5 gallons an hour with 2 blacks. And obviously you put more in there. But talking practicality, there is continually filling up. You can get that probably more like 3 to 4 gallons an hour. And an Imperial Berkey is designed for I would say, once again, small church groups, family with kids of 5, 6, 7 kids, and 2 adults, or large families, church groups, or small church groups. Or if you want to have one of the biggest Berkeys, you would go with either the Imperial or the Crown. But the Imperial serves that need of having those larger groups. I have people call me that have 6, 7 kids, and I always recommend, make sure you either get the Crown or get the Royal. They're both very large. Now, the Imperial stands 25.7 inches in height and 10 inches in diameter with a 17 inches in height if folded. And it is stainless steel and can hold up to 6. And it's a gorgeous system. All the stainless steel systems, I think one of the reasons why people like them is they're gorgeous. The stainless steel is, now the Berkey doesn't take away from the Berkey Light, but the stainless steel is beautiful. Now, I think we're going to move on to the last one. I did have a question in the chat room, which was, by Rourke, is there a lifespan on a filter that is non-used? I would say an indefinite lifespan, 20, 30 years minimum, but they've got to be stored correctly. I would take them and put them in a Ziploc bag, seal it up, remove the air, and put it in a Ziploc bag. The black Berkey Elements are made of a carbon mesh, so they absorb water out of the air, which means if you leave it out or it's like in the little white box that it comes in, it will suck water out of the air and possibly damage the filters over a 10 or 20-year lifespan. So if you just put them in a Ziploc bag, like I said, 10, 20 years. Now, or I said 20, 30. But anyway, they will last you infinitely. Now, what the next thing I want to say in relation to that is that I recommend having at least be using it or have used it once before you store it. Like, these are your backup sets, you could say, are stored in a Ziploc bag. So that's the way to store it. Some people vacuum pack, but I don't have a lot of experience with vacuum packing, so I would just say put them in a Ziploc bag. Store them. That is the way to store the black Berkeys for long-term storage. And they should be able to just crack them open and be good as new. Obviously, the bags need to make sure that, none of the elements have got to them and poke holes, and keep an eye on the product. Always look at it over time to time, So I hope that that helped in that information work. But touching base, spend a few minutes, too, on the largest Berkey system, which is the Big Berkey system. The Crown Berkey is 6 gallons. It is ginormous. No, it's not ginormous, but it is huge. And so we've got the Crown Berkey at 6 gallons. It can hold up to 8 black Berkey elements at a time. That can get you a heck of a lot of water. That can get you, I believe, the hard numbers, with just 2 in there, obviously 3 to 4, maybe 5 gallons on the Crown at a time, within an hour. But if you're always constantly filling it, you might get more. But let's just talk practicality here, especially in an emergency. If your water's gucky, it actually slows down, the water flow. And so the Crown Berkey stands at 30 inches in height and 11 inches in diameter, with a 20 inches height when it is transported. So if you put 8 black Berkey elements inside the system, if you put 8 black Berkey elements inside there, you will find that you will have more water than you would believe. No, I'm just kidding. You'll probably have, 5 to 10 gallons in an hour pretty easily, But the recommendation I have for the Crown, there are people who buy it. They don't even care. They just want the largest one. It is the largest one. And people do buy it with 8 elements at a time from time to time. But I would say large families, 8, 10 kids, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 kids and the 2 adults, churches, organizations, nonprofit organizations, anything above a family of maybe 5 to 7 people, and then plus the adults, or even 7 or 8 people counting the adults, and if you have adult children. But really, the Crown is the hugest one of them all. It is the largest system. Now, it is transportable. A lot of people use it at their bug-out location. They get it because it is the largest. Obviously, I've said that too many times, but they get the largest system now, which is the Crown, and it is made of stainless steel. Now, currently, right now, there's availability on all Berkey systems. The amount of filters the amount of filters sometimes, I apologize, the amount of systems that are available usually vary depending on if they're sold out or not, but currently all of them are ready or available to ship. We did have a sell-out in June to about August on things like the Crown and the Imperials and the Big. But I don't want to cause a stare. I'm not giving this information to cause a stare, but they're currently, available and are shipping up to the Crown. I have a handful of Crowns right now. The factory doesn't have any more, but we're able to ship out a few Crowns this month while they're still available. So that is also important to people. I thought that information. So I do have a caller, my first caller ever. Her name is Carol Ann is her name. Let's bring her on and go ahead and ask your question. Hey, Carol.
Hi. I just wanted to say that I researched this Berkey. I did not know one soul who owned this, but I found some information on it and researched it for about 6 months. And I just decided I had to have one.